Hi, I have a lovely card today. This is absolutely one of my favorites, and it is nothing more than repetitive die cutting, which makes it so easy to do. Let me show you what we'll be using in today's card. My sentiment has been cut out with the pierced flags. We're going to be using these corner squares, and I'll show you a really unique feature about this set. And we will also be using the diagonal fold-over flower to create our little floral element for the card. So, first thing I want to show you is the easiest way to go about setting up this card is to take a piece of coconut white card and cut these little squares. Now, as I said earlier, there's something unique about these. They're all different. However, these two here are exactly the same outside cutting edge, okay? And because they're a simple cutting edge, you can cut two pieces of card at a time. So you just need to cut yourself several squares. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 10 squares, okay? So using both of those, it just goes through in a breeze. And then just set them up with some removable tape between them so that the corners of each of these touch. So you have a checkerboard look to it. So that will give you a sort of template to go forward with. This makes it really simple from this point. So I've decided to use this particular square, and what we'll do is we'll set it up here. I've already done one to show, and then we will just set it up here in between those squares, tape it into place, bring it over to our cutting mat, and give it a quick run through the grand caliper. And I'm just using the decorative insert piece on that. I'm not using the actual outside cutting square. Not doing any embossing on these. So I'm just going to take the tape off here and pull that die out and show you. It's cut beautifully. Let me do a little bit of a quick roll over with my tool-in-one. Should take most of it out. So you can see I've got a gorgeous design that's cut into all those areas where those squares aren't, okay? So I would just need to go back through and continually, repeatedly cut those to create this backing. Once I've done that, I can take it and back it with some blush card, and that will start to show through all those pretty patterned areas, okay? And then you'll just remove these pieces and cut some more of those squares. And everywhere you have those pieces that you're going to take off, and so don't worry if any of the sticky remains, that's not a problem. We're going to go back in using that same exact square, but with the outer cutting edge on it this time to cut a decorative piece. Cut another one that has a sticky adhesive on it. And then we're going to line up the two. Carefully put that one on top of there and bring over a piece of copy paper. And we're going to use some diamond sprinkles over that. There we go. Burnish that in nicely. And that will give us the raised portion to our card. So a little bit of mounting foam, and you'll put those directly over where you're taking off the original ones that you've cut. So it literally is the same die done repeatedly, high, low, high, low, high, low, and that will give you this beautiful background. It's absolutely stunning, isn't it? I love the way that looks. So I'm going to go ahead and put this into place with my pierced edge. Bit of mounting foam. Holds it nice and securely into place, plus gives it a little bit of a rise for dimension. Center that, so you've got a really gorgeous base for this. Now the next thing I'm going to do is create a flower for it. So let's just tidy up a little bit, and we will bring over our flower. Using a bit of blush felt, and the felt does need to be have a wool content to it. This has a 30% wool content to it. Pop that down on my cutting plate. I'm going to bring over the diagonal fold-over flower. Put that into place, and usually it will grab onto the felt, so I don't need to tape that. Just give it a quick run through. Now, if you try to cut felt that's an acrylic felt, generally speaking, it will not cut properly. And that's one of the ways you can tell that you've got some wool content to it. See how clean that cuts? It's just like butter. It absolutely cuts beautifully. Okay. So next thing I want to do is bring in my Cosmic Shimmer Dry as Clear glue. Put a little teeny bit on that edge there. So I'm just going to run a real light bead all the way down the edge of this. Okay, like that. And I like to use a couple of acrylic blocks for this. So I'm just folding it over in the center and just holding it into place there, and then I work from side to side. I find this just to be the easiest way. And like that. And now I can go to this side. Fold that one down, there we go. Pop that into place and get this all the way to the end. Okay, give that a second just to get the glue to set. All right, that's looking pretty good. And I've got one little spot here that seems to be, there we go, uncooperative. Okay, so I think that that looks like it's nice and set. And go back with your glue now and put one more little bead down the seam there that you've created the first time. Now with the glue and the felt, you have to be careful not to get the glue onto the top part of the felt. Even though it dries clear, it does show. You'll see like a hard spot on the felt, so you want to try to keep the glue onto the bottom as much as possible. Okay. And I like to start from this end, depending on if you're right-handed or left-handed. Either way works, not a problem. Just start to fold it, and like I said, be just careful with that glue, keeping it down towards the bottom edge. And once you get a little bit going on this, it's easier to hold on to, so you can move your fingers and just sort of hold it in top and bottom and roll. Gently roll. If you have a loop that looks like it's sticking out too far, I can show you what to do with that. And if you do these in felt, they really do create a beautiful, beautiful flower. You can also use lightweight paper. I wouldn't use anything that's too heavy, but the felt is what they've actually been designed to be used with. Okay, almost there. And I've got just a little bit extra there at that end. Pop that into place. Give that a second to set up. And I will take my pokey tool, and if I've got any little fronds that look like they're sticking up too far, you can kind of just poke them back into place with your pokey tool. That looks good. I'm really happy with that one. Get that off my hands. Now I've stamped a sentiment, and I've cut it out with the pierced flags in a double with the coconut white on the sentiment and the blush behind it, so I can bring those colors back into my card. Got some mounting foam here. So I'll tell you what, I want it to go this direction. I'm going to just pop that into place about like that. Some tulle, because I love the way that that always looks with your floral arrangements. And I've got a couple of glue dots I'll use for that. And that will actually hide the end of that really nicely. So we'll pop that down there. And I've done the flowers in a couple of different sizes, so I'll go ahead and use those. They've been dried and whatnot ahead of time. Now where felt is concerned, the glue dots will only hold it in place, so I can kind of fiddle around with it. I will have to use some glue to get it to really stick into place. But I'll pop one there. And one down below the other side of the tool. And that just hides that edge. And I've got some of these laurel leaves that we've cut out of coconut white card. And I'm just going to do a tiny bit of nipping with these and use some of the bits, because I don't want them to be too terribly long. In fact, yeah, let's trim that one too. And a little bit of glue will hold these into place nicely. And you can just tuck them under the edge of that felt flower. I'm going to put one back here, I think. Tuck that like that. And another one up here. right under there. And then I'm going to go back in, as I said earlier, and just put a dollop of Cosmic Shimmer Dry As Clear Glue under those flowers so they will hold in there nicely. And to finish off our card, I think it just cries out for a couple of beautiful teardrop bead and pearl stick pins right there. How gorgeous is that? Ah, just love that. And you could do this in any color combination you like, and I think it would be absolutely stunning.